Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here for my comic reviews of the week. Okay, let's kick things off with Darkwing Duck number 15. Darkwing Duck has run for mayor, and last issue, the citizens of St. Canard encouraged Launchpad to run, and also there's a third candidate here who's in between the lines that's trying to discredit both Darkwing and Launchpad so that she can win the election. So anyways, the issue kind of focuses on Darkwing and Launchpad just kind of getting at each other's throats and trying to... Each one has different reasons. Launchpad wants to be mayor so that Darkwing can stay the way he is. Darkwing wants to be mayor so that he can become... So that he thinks that it will help him defeat crime in St. Canard. And Gosling keeps encouraging Darkwing and Launchpad to go talk it out. And also, right here, there's also these smear campaigns going on against Darkwing as well as Launchpad, and both are saying that they've been funded by the other one. Darkwing's funding the anti-Launchpad campaign, and Launchpad's funding the anti-Darkwing campaign. And they start going at each other's throats. Then they notice some sort of ink on their fingers, which is actually some sort of parasitic substance that's making people act hostile towards each other. And apparently Darkwing and Launchpad were both given business cards from their opponent, the same business cards from their opponent's publicist here. So Darkwing and Launchpad go to confront her at the big mayoral debate, when all of a sudden the real mastermind, this sort of masked sorceress or whatever, shows up and summons the League of Barely Remembered Supervillains, which some of you may remember from the cartoon series that may have only appeared like once or twice. And Darkwing's starting to remembering each one. And luckily Launchpad and Darkwing are able to put aside their differences and just work together as a team and defeat them all. But it turns out those villains were just an illusion, and now our villain here has turned the entire populace of St. Canard against all the mayoral candidates. Okay. Darkwing Duck. This is something you may want to know. If you've been getting this series, apparently Darkwing Duck is going to end at issue 18, and it's going to cross over with this DuckTales series that Boom Comics is also publishing. So, just to give you a heads up, only 3 issues left until Darkwing ends. And unlike what they're doing at DC, Darkwing will not have a new number 1. So once it's gone, it's gone. Alright, but the focus of Darkwing Duck, I like it. It's kind of just, Launchpad and Darkwing first going at each other's throats, but then they decide to work together again and stuff. And now apparently our main villain has made herself known, so we can finally get to figure out who this person is. Next up, Marvel, Captain America number 2. All right, we are finally get to know a little more about the old man who was taken last issue. Back in the first issue, his name was Jimmy Jupiter, and apparently he had some sort of uncanny ability to walk in between the space between the different layers of reality, and he could also alter this sort of dimension to his own will and stuff, and bring things in and out. So basically Captain America, Dum-Dum Dugan, and Nick Fury back in the war thought they could use Jimmy's abilities to help them take out a Hydra outpost. And what happened was Jimmy was sending a portal with the guy who attacked them last issue, Bravo. Jimmy was pretty much sending that team into his dimension so that they could enter into the Hydra base. And the reason they knew the Hydra base was because Jimmy was able to... Okay, how can I say this nicely? He was able to tap into some of the agents' dreams and send them there. So when right when Dum-Dum's about to enter the portal, Jimmy gets hit in the head and the portal closes, leaving the team and the Hydra agents stuck in that... leaving Bravo's team and the agents stuck in that dimension, which explains why Bravo hasn't aged. And a few more pages into it, as Nick and Sharon are attacking another Hydra outpost, we see another portal near this Hydra Queen, which might imply that this is how they got Bravo out and stuff. But right when Cap gets through, the portal is inactive, so they're not entirely sure, but it is a possibility that that's how they were able to access the whole space in between reality and stuff. Anyways, later that night, Sharon's having a dream, and Bravo shows up, and shows up to kind of seduce her in a way. I think it's mostly because she looks like her Aunt Peggy, again, last issue, and she wakes up the next morning, Steve's getting his costume on, all of a sudden they get attacked by giant Captain America. Alright. At the beginning, we were finally getting a little more answers about who Jimmy Jupiter was, and how he was able to help them liberate Paris from the Nazis back during World War II. But right when you get into that and it starts to make sense, we all of a sudden get giant Captain America. And I'm pretty sure they're not in a dream, so this isn't like Inception. Okay, it's kind of like Inception, but I kind of want to know, but it kind of leaves you intrigued, and it makes you want to know more about how the hell is there a giant Captain America getting ready to check Steve Rogers. Also, though, before you read this issue, read last issue, though, because, again, this is number 2, so Captain America number 1 came out last month. Make sure you read number 1 before reading this, because you will be confused. Alright, so if you've read number 1, and I would definitely recommend, and you like the first issue, and you've just picked this up, then I would say good decision, because it gives you some answers, but also makes you leaves you to want more and stuff. Alright, Avengers Academy number 18. The Absorbing Man and Titana who've been possessed by the Worthy are attacking the Avengers mansion while it's still in the undernet, or its own little dimensional plane here. And while Titana knocks Metal out of the mansion, then Vale tries to kind of take out Titana the same way she took out Corona in her adult body, but once she enters Titana's mind, it gets a little confusing for her, so Vale can't take it. Hazmat's able to get away. Reptile tries to hold his own against the Absorbing Man, but that doesn't go too well. Now Stryker, Finesse, and Hazmat are working on a plan to help their friends, and Stryker gets the idea that maybe they should act like bad guys for a bit. So Hazmat, with her suit off, goes and sees Absorbing Man and Titana, tells her that she wants revenge on Dr. Pym because he promised he'd cure her, and he didn't, so she wants to get revenge and says she wants to work with them. And of course, while she's talking to them, that's just a distraction so that Finesse and Stryker can save Reptile and Vale. And also, the little teaching robots here are able to save Metal from floating off into the infinite void. So they get their fallen teammates to the med lab, and Stryker and Hazmat able to distract them again by forming 2 holograms of Dr. Pym, and Titana, Absorbing Man both use their hammers to take the other one out of the mansion. And Finesse gets the idea that she could use the mansion's Pym particle generator to make their bodies grow, to get them out of this dimension and back into the real world, to the main universe. But she notices on the security cameras that Absorbing Man has just accessed the Pym particle generator, so now he's going to make the entire mansion grow. And at first that seems what they want, but they only needed their bodies they only wanted to grow their bodies, but if it's the entire mansion, that thing is huge. So when it arrives in our dimension, it will probably crush a city. And that's where we're left off. So now half the team is taken down, so it's up to these 3 to figure out a way to stop the Absorbing Man and Titana and try to get back to their own dimension without the giant mansion destroying a city. Avengers Academy. It is still a very good series. I like the character development here. I mean, the kids do kind of start to act like bad guys, but only for the purpose of, which is just an act so that they could save their teammates' lives. And there's some character development here. It's a pretty good story. I like it. And what else? I wouldn't say it's necessary for Fear itself. I mean, I haven't read anything about Fear itself outside this book, and I still kind of understand what's going on here. It's not essential for Fear itself, but if you've been reading Avengers Academy for a while, then I would say you should pick this up because it's very good. Alright, now for DC. Legion of Superheroes number 16. Someone dies. Yeah, that's the only thing that happens in this. Legion still trying to hold off the Legion of Superheroes, trying to hold off the Legion of Supervillains, and the blue entity that Saturn Queen's been working for has apparently gone to full power. And apparently Earthman, and when that happens though, Mon-El shows up, and Earthman taps into Mon-El's Green Lantern ring and apparently absorbs the power there, as well as some from Diogen. And apparently he absorbs absorbs all the other willpower of the Legion, and he's able to use that energy to destroy the blue entity for good, but that also kills Earthman, so that's where it ends. And after Earthman dies and they pretty much won the day, Mon-El pretty much resigns from the Green Lantern Corps, stating that he belongs to the Legion. And Diogen understands and decides to sort of take rest in this fallen world so that hopefully so apparently it may evolve into a new Mogo. And in the end, the Professor Lin character decides to stick around and help join the Legion. And that's kind of where we're left off. That's it. I mean, Earthman dies, big whoop. And Mon-El leaves the Legion, that's all. It's kind of leaves it does sort of open it up for the next Legion series to pick up where it left off, but I'm really not interested in picking up the Legion reboot. I mean, if you hated Earthman and you were hoping he died, well, you should pick this up. But Earthman kind of died a hero, so is he redeemed? Not really. I don't think so, but you know, if you were going to check out Legion of Superheroes once the relaunch starts, then I'd say probably read the last story arc that happened in this book before the relaunch is before the new Legion number 1 comes out. But I haven't really been interested in Legion since my interest in Legion has sort of decreased since this series was restarted. So I'm not really going to pick it up after the relaunch, though. Okay, now for something really good. Green Lantern Corps, number 63, the last issue here. And this issue is actually pretty well formatted. I mean, it's this is interesting. They divide this issue into chapters. We've got a story here, sort of a 4-page story featuring Boudica. And after how she's still kind of coping being an Alpha Lantern. Then another story featuring Salak and 2 other Lantern Corps members who are starting to make the decision to resign because of the Guardians. But Salak encourages them to stick around because they want to help people and protect and serve the galaxy. And it's no big deal if they don't like the Guardians, but they should stay to protect and serve others. And in Chapter 3, though, we have Kyle pretty much taking some crap from some other Lanterns who pretty much say that humans don't deserve to be in the Green Lantern Corps and stuff. But fortunately, Kyle is saved by Tomar Ray. And then, apparently Tomar is able to access some code in Kyle's ring to send him somewhere else for safety for now. And and it kind of concludes with the Guardians saying that they need all available lanterns to help with the dying planet and stuff. And when that happens, every single lantern just decides to put everything aside and go off and help save innocent people. I gotta say, that's kind of a good conclusion, the ending, to kind of remind you that the Green Lantern Corps is about individual aliens who want to help everyone in the galaxy and protect them and make sure everyone's alright. That kind of restores to me the idea that the Green Lantern Corps isn't about the Guardians. It's about getting people from all over the galaxy to come together and help others. That's a pretty cool thing to leave you there. I'm kind of overloaded on Green Lantern, though, so I'm not going to be picking up Green Lantern Corps. I mean, I am interested in Kyle, so I might pick up New Guardians. I'm not so I'm starting to develop an interest on what happened to Kyle, so I might pick up New Guardians. Not when it's relaunched, though, but maybe, I don't know, somewhere down the road, might start reading New Guardians. It depends on how I'm enjoying the new Green Lantern series with Sinestro. But this issue of Green Lantern Corps was a great finale issue, and it takes a moment to focus on certain individual members of the Corps, and the last few pages does leave you with the idea that every single member of the Corps wants to help other people, and that's the reason they stayed with the Corps so long, is because they want to help, which is amazing. Alright, now for something I really enjoyed. Superboy, number 11. Alright, when it looks like... Alright, so Taranik has Superboy and the Phantom Stranger incapacitated, while Lori and Simon are left by themselves to deal with the Parasite. And Parasite pushes Simon against a wall. Lori grabs his headgear and is able to use the Death Ray setting to take out Parasite. But once that happens, all of a sudden the other Hollow Men start breaking into the barn where they're hiding. And while Taranik has Superboy trapped, Phantom Stranger reveals that the wooden figure he gave Superboy would help the Phantom Stranger escape. So Superboy is able to get the figure to the Stranger, and Stranger is able to break free of Taranik's bonds. And Simon's trying to program one of his devices to release some sort of radio frequency and sonic blast so that he could shut down the control matrix controlling the Hollow Men. And Superboy, once he has free control, is able to take down Abin and his sons and get to the control console and start using his tactile telekinesis to shut down. While at the same time, Simon, again, he's held up by the zombie Hollow Men, and Lori is able to use Simon's little keypad here to help to sort of create the frequency that Simon was trying to do, and at the same time, apparently, they're both destroy the Hollow Men. And once the Hollow Men are gone, Psionic Lad's starting to wake up. I'm sorry, Psionic. That's what what he's called now. And when it seems like they have Taranik cornered, they ask him to release all the people from Smallville, but Taranik says that they're all trapped in limbo. So Superboy has Psionic is able to use, and Phantom Stranger is able to help Psionic use his powers to draw everyone in Smallville's consciousness back to them. So everyone in Smallville's fine. And then Taranik apparently destroys Abin Took and his sons and dies or disappears. And once this happens, the whole base under Smallville is starting to break, and the Superboy clones are starting to be destroyed. And Superboy feels like he should save them, but the Phantom Stranger and Lori remind him that they're nothing but flesh and blood. They may look like him, but they're not conscious. They're not really real. They're just Hollow Men. And Superboy says that they're right and they should leave. So Phantom Stranger teleports them out. And our little conclusion here is that they all decide just to go back to their houses and take a break. And then Simon asks if everyone wants to hang out tomorrow. So Superboy says, "Yeah, that sounds good." And we get a little closing monologue here from Superboy stating that he wonders what his life, if his life could have been different if he was a normal kid. Would he have normal friends? But he's not normal, and neither are his friends, and that's how he's okay with being different, and how he's happy being in Smallville. So, nice little closing shot here. Okay, and this concludes the Superboy series written by Jeff Lemire. I am very sad to see this go. It's disappointing because they're taking a really different direction once the Superboy series relaunches. He's not going to be in Smallville. He's going to be back in a lab as a clone of Superman. Sounds like something from back in the 90s, but it's a little disappointing. I do look forward to it. I do want to see what's different, but I am really going to miss this. I think Jeff Lemire did an amazing job on this series. I am definitely going to look for the hardcover when it comes out. Probably going to pre-order it off Amazon, but I love this series. I'm very disappointed. I have not loved the Superboy comic this much since Jeff Johns wrote it. That's my opinion about this. So yeah, Jeff Lemire, if you're watching this, you did an awesome job. Thank you for making me love Superboy again. So sad to see this series die. Especially since that whole Prime Hunter thing. 2 issues ago, they revealed that Simon Valiente is apparently the Prime Hunter who Sonic Lad was sent back in time to kill. And now, well, we're just supposed to ignore that? Is that going to happen? What? I mean, come on, really? Leaving a plot hole. That's very disappointing. Okay, one more DC comic. Flashpoint tie-in. The final issue of the Abin Sur, the Green Lantern series. Okay, when we last left Abin, Sinestro attacked him, declaring that he's going to find the Flash and use Flash's power to help remake the world in his image. And also, Sinestro cut off Abin Sur's hand. But Sinestro forgot one thing. Abin Sur is awesome, so he's able to tap into the power of his ring while it's separated, and he's able to summon his ring back to him, as well as conjure up a little hand construct for him, and he's able to take Sinestro out by breaking his hand and Sinestro's ring, declaring that Sinestro is no longer worthy of the Green Lantern Corps. So Sinestro still falls from power in the Flashpoint universe. And Abin flies off, and the Guardians contact him asking if he's found the white entity, but Abin says that he wants to save Earth. He doesn't really care about the white entity right now. He wants to help the people of Earth. And the Guardians then declare that after Abin reports that Sinestro was corrupt, they agree that Sinestro should be expelled. And then Abin Sur says that he needs to help to save this world, and these people need the help of the Green Lantern Corps. But then the Guardians say that Abin Sur is pretty much going against their orders. He's expelled from the Green Lantern Corps, but Abin gets to keep his ring until it runs out of power. Once the ring runs out of power, it will go to its successor, So Abin decides to make the best of it by going off and helping fight the good fight. And so Abin's teaming up with Cyborg to hold off the Amazons and the Atlanteans, and Abin's ring is starting to decrease. Then, all of a sudden, Abin falls into the earth, and his ring runs out of power and flies off to look for a new holder in Sector 2814. Then, all of a sudden, Abin is approached by a vision of his sister, who's proud of him because he's been able to remember that all life is sacred, and he's pretty much doing a good job protecting all life. So, at that moment, Abin Sur bonds with the white entity, and he returns back to Earth, and he's ready to kick some ass. Okay, so Abin Sur. It definitely gives you an idea about what kind of Green Lantern Abin Sur was, since he's still alive in the Flashpoint universe. It gives you an idea about what kind of... If you're unfamiliar with Abin Sur, it kind of gives you the idea that he was a noble Green Lantern, one that was willing to do anything to protect all life. That's a good character, and it's definitely someone Hal Jordan Hal Jordan has definitely tried to live up to. Granted, he killed a Guardian. Granted, Hal killed a Guardian, but who cares? Corona was evil. And also, Abin Sur bonding with the white entity in the Flashpoint universe was a good choice. Since obviously the entity chose Abin because of his love for his will to protect all life. That's a good decision for the entity's part. And yeah, if you've been following the Flashpoint Abin Sur series, then I would say this is a good ending and it definitely pays off. So that's my reviews for this week. In conclusion, Abin Sur Green Lantern gives you the idea about what kind of lantern Abin Sur was. So, and what he'd be like if he was still alive. Superboy number 11. Awesome series. I've loved this. It's a great finale. You should definitely pick out the trade when it comes out. If you're in your comic shop or bookstore, you see, oh hey, Superboy by Jeff Lemire, pick it up. Because it is amazing. It is definitely worth the money. Green Lantern Corps number 63. This is a great conclusion issue. It gives you a glimpse, gives some members of the Green Lantern Corps to shine their moment of spotlight for a little moment, but it helps you remind you that the Green Lantern Corps is a bunch of beings who not just have a ton of willpower, but they also want to help and protect the universe. Legion of Superheroes number 16. My interest in the Legion kind of started to go downhill with this arc. It just couldn't really get into it, and the death in this, not a big deal. Didn't really care much about Earthman anyway. Avengers Academy number 18. Really great story here. It's an awesome series. I would definitely recommend picking this up because it is good. Captain America number 2. Make sure you read the first issue before reading this one, otherwise you will be seriously confused. If you have read the first issue, you do get some payoff and an ending that leaves you wanting to find out more. And of course, Darkwing Duck number 15. It's funny. I should have mentioned, but it's kind of funny. And if you like the TV show, then you should definitely pick this up. And also, again, I found out that only 3 more issues of Darkwing Duck will be published, and then the series is going to be gone. Sorry about that, but that's the truth. And of course, comic of the week, I guess, would go to Superboy number 11. Really loved Superboy. Again, I've loved Superboy. I loved what Jeff Lemire has done with him. It's an outstanding series, and I cannot wait for the hardcover to come out. Yeah, I'm definitely going to buy the hardcover of this. Okay, so that's my review for this week. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.